Most people think their toilet can handle just about anything as long as it goes down with the flush. But here is the truth. If it is not one of the three P's, pee, poop, or toilet paper, it does not belong in that bowl. After 3 decades of fixing clogs that never should have happened, I am going to walk you through 7 things you should never flush down your toilet. And when we get to number 6, you will be shocked at how one so-called safe product can basically turn to cement inside your pipes. Stick around for the bonus tip at the end, too. The first thing you should never flush down your toilet is so-called flushable wipes. And I cannot stress this one enough because these wipes are the single biggest reason I get called out to homes for clogs that could have been completely avoided. Now, here is what the packaging does not tell you. The word flushable on that label is a marketing term, not an engineering term. There is no federal standard that a wipe has to meet before a company slaps that word on the package. All flushable really means is that the wipe will physically go down the drain when you push the handle. And sure, it will. But that is where the story takes a very ugly turn. Toilet paper is designed to start breaking apart within seconds of hitting water. You can test this yourself. Drop a sheet of toilet paper in a glass of water and swirl it around. Within about 20 seconds, it starts falling apart. Now, do the same thing with a flushable wipe. Come back in 24 hours. That wipe will still be sitting there fully intact, maybe even stronger than when you dropped it in. That is because these wipes are made with synthetic fibers that are engineered to hold together when wet. That is the whole selling point for cleaning, but it is a disaster for your plumbing. Once that wipe leaves your toilet, it travels into your drain line, usually a 3-inch or 4-inch pipe. It does not break down. Instead, it catches on rough spots inside the pipe, on old joints, on tree roots that have crept in, on tiny burrs in cast iron. And then it just sits there. The next wipe catches on the first one. Then grease from your kitchen line, which shares the same main sewer line, coats everything with a sticky film. Before long, you have got what plumbers call a fatberg, a tangled, greasy, rock-hard mass that completely blocks the pipe. Cities across the country spend millions of dollars every year removing fatbergs from municipal sewer systems, and those fatbergs are made almost entirely of so-called flushable wipes bound together with cooking grease. In your home, the damage might start as a slow drain. Then one day, everything backs up. Toilet, shower, tub, all at once. A basic snaking to clear a clog like this runs anywhere from $150 to $300. But if that mass has traveled deep into your main sewer line and the pipe needs to be excavated, you are looking at several $1,000s and a torn-up yard. The fix is simple. Throw wipes in the trash. Every single time. No exceptions. The second thing you should never flush is paper towels and tissues. I hear this one all the time. People run out of toilet paper, grab a paper towel or a facial tissue, and figure it is close enough. But these products are engineered to do the exact opposite of what toilet paper does. Toilet paper is designed to fall apart in water. Paper towels are designed to stay strong when wet. That is literally why you use them to wipe up spills. They hold together. Facial tissues are similar. They have binders in them that help the tissue keep its shape even when it gets damp, which is great when you have got a runny nose, but terrible when that tissue hits your drain line. A single paper towel flushed once probably will not destroy your plumbing. But habits build up. If you are flushing paper towels regularly, They accumulate at bins in the pipe, especially at the closet bin right below the toilet or at the first 90-degree fitting where your drain line turns toward the main. They stack up, layer by layer, and because they do not break down, they create a dam that catches everything else flowing past. In older homes with 3-inch drain lines, instead of the modern 4-inch standard, there's even less room for error. I have pulled wads of paper towels out of drain lines that were packed so tightly I needed a power auger to break through them. Keep a small wastebasket next to the toilet. If you run out of toilet paper, the trash can is always the right answer. The third thing that should never go down your toilet is dental floss. Now I know what you are thinking. It is just a tiny little string. How could that possibly cause a problem? But dental floss is one of those sneaky items that creates serious damage over time, precisely because it seems so harmless. Most dental floss is made from nylon or Teflon. Neither of those materials biodegrades. When you flush a strand of floss, it does not dissolve, it does not soften, and it does not break apart. What it does is travel down into your drain line and wrap itself around anything it touches. It snags on pipe joints, on the teeth of old cast iron fittings, on small tree roots, on any rough surface inside the line. And once one strand catches, the next strand tangles around it. Over weeks and months, you end up with a rope-like net stretched across the inside of your pipe. That net becomes a trap for everything else that flows by. Toilet paper, grease, soap residue, all of it. I have pulled clumps of tangled floss out of drain lines that look like something you would find at the bottom of a fishing boat. The floss acts like a gill net inside your pipe, catching and holding everything until the whole line is blocked. And because floss tangles so tightly around mechanical parts, it can also wrap around the internals of a sump pump or a sewage ejector pump and burn out the motor. That is a repair that can run $500 or more just for the pump replacement. Toss your floss in the trash. It takes 1 second and saves you hundreds. By the way, if this advice is helping, it is a small sample from my new book, 100 Old House Fixes That Save You Thousands. It shows old house fixes that can help you avoid expensive repair bills. To grab your copy, scan the QR code on screen or use the first link in the description. All right, let us continue. The fourth thing you should never flush down your toilet is cotton swabs, cotton balls, and cotton pads. These are another one of those items that people toss in the bowl without thinking twice because they are small and they feel soft. But cotton behaves very differently inside a drain line than you would expect. Cotton does not break down in water. In fact, it does the opposite. It absorbs water and swells. A dry cotton ball might be the size of a marble, but once it is waterlogged, it expands and becomes dense and heavy. It sinks right to the low points in your pipe and sits there. Cotton swabs are even worse because they have that rigid stick in the center, usually made of plastic or tightly rolled cardboard. That stick catches sideways at pipe joints and at the entrance to your trap. Once a swab lodges crossways in a fitting, it becomes a bridge that collects everything else flowing through the line. Cotton pads do the same thing on a larger scale. They lay flat against the inside of the pipe, soak up water, and essentially create a soft plug that grows thicker with every flush. I have opened up drain cleanouts and found layers of cotton pads stacked on top of each other like wet pancakes. completely sealing off the pipe. In older homes, where the drain lines have some belly or sag to them, cotton products settle into those low spots and never move. A trash can next to the bathroom sink solves this problem instantly. The fifth thing you should never flush is feminine hygiene products. This is one that a lot of people already know they should not flush, but it still happens constantly, and the damage it causes is some of the worst I have seen in 30 years. Tampons and pads are specifically engineered to absorb moisture and expand. That is their entire purpose. A tampon can absorb up to 10 times its weight in fluid, which means once it hits the water in your drain line, it swells dramatically. A tampon that was the width of your finger when it went into the toilet can expand to fill a 3-inch pipe almost entirely. Pads are even larger, and they do not compress. They are designed to hold their shape under pressure, which means they do not squeeze through tight spots in the plumbing. They just wedge in place and block the flow. And here is what makes this especially costly. Because these products expand so effectively, they often create blockages deep in the main sewer line rather than close to the toilet. A clog near the toilet can usually be cleared with a closet auger for a relatively modest cost. But a blockage 20 or 30 feet down the main line requires a motorized sewer snake or even a camera inspection to locate, and the service call for that kind of work starts at $300 and can climb into the thousands if the line has to be dug up. Every bathroom should have a small line waste bin with a lid. It is a simple, inexpensive solution that prevents extremely expensive repairs. The sixth thing you should never flush down your toilet is cat litter. And this one genuinely surprises people because there are cat litter products on the market right now that say flushable right on the bag. Sound familiar? It is the same misleading story as the wipes. Clumping cat litter, which is the most popular type sold in the United States, is made from bentonite clay. Bentonite is the same material used to seal wells and ponds because when it contacts water, it expands and hardens into a dense, cement-like mass. That is exactly what it does inside your toilet drain. You scoop a clump of litter into the bowl, flush it, and as it travels down the line, it absorbs more water and gets heavier and harder. It settles at the bottom of the trap, or at the first low point in your drain line, and essentially turns to concrete. I have had to replace sections of pipe that was so packed with hardened cat litter that no snake or auger could break through. Even the cat litters marketed as flushable, which are typically made from corn, wheat, or walnut shells, cause serious problems. They may not harden like bentonite, but they create heavy sediment that accumulates in your trap and drain line over time. Your toilet trap has a built-in weir that the water has to flow over, and sediment from flushed litter settles right at that weir and gradually reduces the flow until the toilet barely flushes at all. On top of all that, cat feces can contain a parasite called Toxoplasma gondii that water treatment plants are not designed to remove. So you are potentially introducing a health hazard into the water supply. Use a bag, tie it off, and put it in the trash. That is the only safe way to dispose of cat litter. The seventh and final thing you should never flush down your toilet is medications. Now, this one is different from the other six because pills and capsules are not going to clog your pipes. They are small, they dissolve, and they wash right through your plumbing without causing any mechanical problem at all. So, Why are they on this list? Because what happens after they leave your house is the real issue. When you flush medications down the toilet, those chemicals travel through the sewer system to your local water treatment plant. And here is the thing most people do not realize. Municipal water treatment plants are designed to remove bacteria, sediment, and organic waste. They are not designed to filter out pharmaceutical compounds. Antibiotics, hormones, blood pressure medications, antidepressants, painkillers, these chemicals pass right through the treatment process and end up in rivers, lakes, and groundwater. Studies have found measurable levels of pharmaceutical compounds in drinking water sources across the country. Trace amounts of estrogen from birth control and hormone therapies have been linked to reproductive changes in fish populations downstream from treatment plants. Antibiotics in the water supply contribute to antibiotic-resistant bacteria, which is a growing public health concern. This is not about protecting your pipes. This is about being a responsible homeowner and neighbor. The safe way to dispose of unused or expired medications is to take them to a pharmacy or a community drug take-back program. Most pharmacies and many police stations have drop-off boxes specifically for this purpose. If no take-back option is available near you, the FDA recommends mixing the medications with something undesirable like used coffee grounds or kitty litter, sealing them in a container, and putting them in the household trash. Just do not flush them. Your pipes will be fine, but your water supply will thank you. And now for the bonus tip that professional plumbers swear by. If you want a dead simple way to test whether something is safe to flush, try the water glass test. Take a clear glass, fill it about 3/4 full with water, and drop in whatever product you are thinking about flushing. Give it a gentle swirl and let it sit for about 60 seconds. If the material starts breaking apart and clouding the water within that first minute, it is behaving like toilet paper and your plumbing can handle it. If it is still sitting there in one piece after 60 seconds, it belongs in the trash. Period. I use this test to settle arguments all the time. People will swear that their brand of wipes breaks down, and then I hand them a glass of water and say, "Show me." 60 seconds later, the wipe is sitting there perfectly intact, and the conversation is over. This one simple test can save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars in plumbing bills because it takes all the guesswork out of the equation. Try it tonight with a sheet of your regular toilet paper first so you can see what breaking down actually looks like. Then try it with anything else you have been flushing. The glass does not lie. Before you go, I want you to know about my new book, 100 Old House Fixes that Save You Thousands. It shows practical fixes for older homes so you can stop guessing and avoid expensive repair bills. Just scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description to get your copy. Thanks for watching.